You are listening to Waywut? This is a weekly rabbit hole podcast that goes into a variety of topics ranging from the supernatural to sports to science or anything else that we find interesting. We post episodes every Tuesday. We post on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Pandora. Please follow us on any of those. If you prefer video, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to talk to us or keep up with any random information we decide to talk about, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever it's called, under @Waywut Podcast. That does it for all the self-promotion stuff. Thank you for listening, and here we go.
Why, hello there. Welcome to episode number 14 of Waywut. Today I'm your host, Jason, and with me as always is a guy who can do a spot-on impression of KGB from the movie Rounders, my friend Daryl.
I wouldn't say spot on.
It's pretty damn good.
Give that man his money.
Yes,
That one.
that one.
That one.
I like when you say don't splash the pot. Yeah. I can splash the pot whenever I fucking want to. That one's better.
It's not the one. That's the other one. Paying you back with your money. From last time I fucked you.
The last time I stuck it to you.
Yeah, that.
Oh, great movie. Great movie.
There's a really funny interview where the first time they acted together in that, it was the first time he really met Malkovich, Matt Damon. And he's, was sitting there trying to be all serious. And then, Malkovich goes in that really over the top, crazy Russian accent. He said he just fell apart, just laughing his ass off immediately.
I mean, he is over the top with it. I thought it was really good, and some of the shit he says is so quotable.
Yeah.
Take that, man. Well, Daryl, what do you want to talk about today? I'm going to pull a line from Cody Rhodes.
Who's Cody Rhodes?
That's what he always says when he goes in the ring. We're in the ring. Hell, I even sounded like him there for a second. No.
Cody Rhodes is a wrestler for all you, like our moms and stuff.
No, I want to talk about predictions in a sense and how they're used in everyday life in a way. For instance, a weatherman, would you say he predicts the weather? In a way, he kind of does, but it's more based off of science and experience. So is he really a predictor?
No, they're just doing the bet. He's more of a hypothesizer.
Right. Okay. What about sportcasters or
bookies?
People or bookies trying to predict sporting outcomes? You can't really do that. It's based on human nature, and
they use math and stuff,
but it's almost impossible to predict.
Oh yeah,
football.
no. That's why the point spread isn't always right, and the over-unders are what they are, and
people are always clutching their tickets and like, oh my god, I just wasted $1,000 on this, and it's impossible. Wrestling, can you predict wrestling? There's lots of websites. If
you're in the writer's room.
Yes. There's lots of websites based on people predicting what's going to happen at the next pay-per-view or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more likely to do that based off of storylines and for the fact that wrestling is
scripted entertainment.
Scripted entertainment, yeah. It's not based off of human nature or where mistakes can happen.
People would still they would try to make predictions on what was going to happen on the next Game of Thrones, who was going to die. Same with The Walking Dead. What characters are going to get killed this week if,
Yeah, it's a little bit easier to predict when it's already written for you. What about the real life people, like the psychics that we grew up, like Miss Cleo or Sylvia Brown? Any of them people we used to see on Channel 13 at 1 o'clock in the morning.
The ones that you mean the ones that can do cold readings and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think those people really exist, or do they base their predictions off of vagueness?
I am typically not going to trust anybody that is trying to profit off of people with that. Now, when it comes to like psychic stuff and all that, I take the same stance that I do with like aliens and ghosts and Bigfoot and all that. I don't know. And since I don't
You s-
know, I can't have a hard stance either way. I think it's possible. I think it's possible not. Things
see
happen.
what you believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
see what you believe. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. The reason I bringing up the predictions is I wanted to poke some holes in two of the more famous predictors of our time. And they're not, one of them is of our time and one of them is not of our time. Let me
I
rephrase that.
think I know who the one who isn't of our time.
Well, we're going to talk about the show The Simpsons and all the stuff that they have so-called predicted, right? And we're going to see about if they were really onto something, or we're going to poke some holes in it, or if they just got lucky.
I was going to say, or is like the current state of the world just a fucking joke?
Well, we're all a show here. And I'm also going to talk about Nostradamus, probably the most famous prediction person, where predictor, with all of the things that he predicted. And I thought it'd be fun looking back at his stuff
Okay.
and comparing them. And for a special little treat,
Ooh.
he also has some predictions for 2024. I thought we can try to break down and discuss.
I will admit though that like I think what was he? Was he 14th century or 15th
16th
century?
century.
16th century. So my 16th century poetry interpretation is a little rusty. So I'll
Well,
do the best I can.
luckily, it's a 4 line poem, basically a quatrain is what they called it,
Yeah.
where it's not very many words, but we can sit there and break it down and the vagueness and try to make it fit our narrative.
Like everybody else does. Okay. All right.
Yes, 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 yes. All right. So first, let's start with The Simpsons. All right. Season 4, episode 8, 1992.
Wait,
Homer
hold on,
Simpson.
hold on, hold on, hold on. If you're going to be doing this, like this style, you almost have to go into that unsolved mysteries type voice or fact or fiction. It's like season 4, episode 12.
Okay, let me start that over then.
I want some drama here.
Season 4, episode 8. The time is 1992. Homer Simpson takes full advantage of the eating promotion by eating for hours, finishing most of their items, including the shrimp and 2 plastic lobsters. This causes management to call him a remorseless eating machine and eventually kick him out of the restaurant, which could go bankrupt because of his patronage. Homer is annoyed and takes him to court for false advertising.
Right.
A real world case would soon take place when a man from Springfield
You're shitting
sues
me.
Golden another Springfield in Massachusetts.
Well, I know, but I'm just
Weird
no.
coincidence, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sues Golden Corral for $2 million for false advertising. This is what after he's kicked out of their all-you-can-eat restaurant by one of their employees. So, did Simpsons predict
On
that
what
something like
ground?
this,
What
the
was
false
the
advertising,
I
like he
know,
says, is
but
all you can eat?
did they kick him out for eating too much? Is that why
Yes,
they kicked him
yes,
out of Golden Corral?
yeah,
I mean, like he wasn't like just putting it in his pockets to save it for later or nothing like that.
no, no, no,
Ah, oh well, I do not consider that so much of as a prediction as much as an inevitability.
yeah.
Now, the thing with him being in the Springfield,
That's
that's
the
weird.
weird coincidence.
That is
I would
super
agree.
weird.
They could probably just foretell or see that where America is going as far as they being sue happy, where we are felt wronged about something, so we're going to sue somebody. So,
People have sued over dumber things, but
oh
yeah,
yeah, oh yeah. So I don't think Simpsons should get credit for that one.
no, I don't either.
No. Okay, this one's very similar. Whacking Day, Season 4, Episode 20,
I love that episode.
1993.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, well, okay, you know it then. Then it's named after Whacking Day. It's named after the annual tradition in Springfield where the residents gather to joyfully beat snakes to death to allegedly keep the snake population under control.
Yes.
In 2013, in the real world, the Florida Python Challenge pretty much does the same thing, where you go out there and you kill the pythons that have overtaken Florida's Everglades.
They do
Once
not get
again,
credit for this.
they do not get credit for this. It's
No,
something that they could
pythons are
foresee, maybe, but
pythons are an invasive species. They are an invasive species there, and they don't have any natural predators, so that's why they put a bounty on them. The same as like when we went to New Orleans, and they were telling us about those nutria rats that you can make like $7 a tail for.
yep.
You know, whenever you have an invasive species that there's not something there that will eat it, then you gotta kill them. It's just part of it. That no, they don't get credit for that bullshit. Somebody's trying too hard there.
Yeah. So the first few we're going to read or presenting have been stretches. Like they've been presented as the Simpsons have predicted it, but I'm like,
No,
no,
yeah. I mean, if all of a
these are
sudden
stretches.
we had yellow skin and 4 fingers, I'd be like, wow, how did they see that shit coming? But you know, no.
All right. On to number 3, Cybertruck Season 2, Episode 15. The year is 1991. Does anyone still remember the unfortunate and hilarious The Homer, the ugly ass truck that he designed for his brother,
Yeah, I do.
and then ended up costing him his brother his job,
Yeah,
his
it's car, but
company?
yeah.
But they're equating that to the new Cybertruck that Elon Musk has put out, and it's hideous. I mean, if you've
Oh
seen a
yeah.
picture of it, it's
Dude,
god
somebody has one in
awful.
my neighborhood.
It is. It looks like an armored vehicle
It does. It
ready
looks
to.
like something that would be in a video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, the stuff I've learned about it, I don't know how anybody can drive one of those things and feel okay. Like it does not have like a mechanical steering wheel, so it's
What does it
compute.
have?
It's all computer stuff. So essentially, think of like the steering wheel like a mouse. You turn, and then the computer tells the wheels to turn. So I mean, think about that. You know, your computer crashes, and then you can't turn left.
It's
What
buffering,
kind of power
buffering,
is that?
buffering.
Yeah. Just no. I mean, and no, they are butt ass ugly, and it's weird when one gets behind you at night because they don't have like headlights. They have a line of LED lights across the front, like one big long line. It's
Like
like
a
a getting
SWAT team about to come and get you.
yeah. No, those things. Yeah, they're no good. I wouldn't want one. If you're gonna get an electric truck, get a Rivian.
All
At
right.
least it looks like a real truck.
Yeah, that one is. I don't understand it. I don't think the only reason you would buy it is just because, hey, I got a Cybertruck.
But that is not a prediction that Simpsons get credit for. They are
No.
essentially making fun of what happened with Henry Ford with the Edsel.
Yeah, I would agree.
They're more
It's,
making fun of something from the past than making doing that. Yeah, that's just
I would agree
stupid
on that
on the
one.
internet.
All right, these are getting a little closer to good predictions or
Okay.
very spot on
Yeah,
predictions.
I'm waiting for the big one that I know that's in there. So,
Well, malfunctioning voter machines, season 20, episode 4. The year is 2008. This is another thing where Homer goes in and votes for Obama, but he's soon revealed to have been tallied a vote for John McCain.
mm-hmm.
So this causes all kinds of problems with the voting machines. And of course, we know in the real world about all the problems they had with the voting machines in several states during the last election and the election prior to that. So,
I
is this a prediction or is this just something that they got lucky on
No, it's not even
doing?
a matter of luck. I mean, think about the 2000 elections. Remember the hanging chads and all that stuff? That is basically them doing like using a real world thing and then just giving it a bit more of a modern pop to it.
Spin. Yep.
And I mean, and it's one of those things. It's very practical. You can expect that. No, I mean, all computers screw up. They do, whether it's there something screwed up in the software or there's something screwed up with the user. That happens. And so, and on top of that, hanky-panky weird shit can go on too. So yeah, I don't think that's anything they get credit for. That's like saying, oh, they made a prediction that, the McRib wouldn't come out in 2023. I don't know. So it's like, well, okay. So people didn't want to eat processed pork for a while, but it's kind of kind of expect that. So.
McRib, overrated or not?
Overrated.
Yeah. When we were younger, it tasted a lot better than what it is now.
I was just fine with the ones that we'd get at school every now and then. I didn't need the one from McDonald's. And the one at McDonald's is covered in barbecue sauce, and I prefer my meat to be a little less saucy.
All right. And this one, unless it's a prediction, but it's more of the play with fire. You're eventually going to get burned type of thing. This is Siegfried and Roy Tiger Attack, Season 5, Episode 10, year 1993. In Springfield, Mr. Burns brings the luxurious and excessive Vegas culture to Springfield by building a casino. A major act to draw crowds is headlined by Gunter and Ernst, who are clear parallels to the famous entertainers Siegfried and Roy. During their performance, their trained white tiger suddenly turns on them and mauls them. In the real world, and in 2003, Roy Horn's live performance with one of their white tigers attacked him. So,
logical outcome.
Logical outcome. Yep. You mess with fire, you're going to get burned. You play with tigers, eventually they're going to turn on you.
It'd be like, if they, did a thing where their little version of Steve Irwin got killed by a fish, and be like, okay.
Something he messed with a million times before, and just this one happened to go badly.
Oh my God, I can't believe you saw that the future that bomb squad guy was going to blow up. And it's just a good guess.
Mm-hmm. What about, here we go, next one. The Accessible Space Travel, Season 5, Episode 15. The year is 1994. What seemed like an unrealistic idea at the time, an ordinary man going to space, has since become a common concept. A commercial space flight is something people can look forward to in the not-too-distant future. There have been all civilian space flights in recent years, proving that Homer's far-fetched experience back then has become the reality for some people today.
No, they don't get credit.
No, it's like Star Trek and Star Wars and all this stuff about all the futuristic stuff you see that they do, and they don't get credit for any of the stuff you see coming out now.
I mean, well, here's the other thing. People want to go to space. Everybody wants to, say they went to space. So it's logical to assume that someday somebody's going to accept money to take someone to space. God. Tell me when you get to a good one.
All right. I'm skipping the one about smartwatches because it's very similar to the space travel. It's you watch a sci-fi show. You
can watch a sci-fi show from like the 40s or 50s, and they did that.
Yeah, so I don't know how they're trying to claim that the Simpsons predicted these.
Dick Tracy had a smartwatch technically.
Inspector Gadget, hell.
Yeah.
And the NSA spying on citizens. We all kind of know.
No,
you talk about something, and it's everybody hears it. But here's the cool one.
Did you hear that, NSA? All right. Anyway, sorry. I want to make sure that they were listening.
Lady Gaga and the Super Bowl. Season 23, Episode 22, years to 2012.
Okay.
One of the Simpsons episodes showed Lady Gaga performing in the Super Bowl. She played this piano. She did this jump thing at the end of it where she jumped off the, what did she jump off of? When she's flying over the audience.
Mm-hmm.
So the Super Bowl happened in 2017. So this was 5 years after the Simpsons episode.
Okay.
What's strange about it is they say that during the Super Bowl thing, she did the same thing. She played the piano. She did the whole jumping off of thing, whatever she did that was similar to the Simpson episode. But I don't think the Simpsons get credit for predicting that she would be doing the things she did in the Super Bowl because she probably saw the Simpson episode and copied that episode.
And I mean, she was like a hot act. Of course, they were going to sit there and say
She was a
something.
hot act, yeah. So predicting that she would do is not far of a stretch.
I mean, if you and I sat down and watched like the episodes from the 80s all the way up to mid 90s, I'm pretty sure that we'd see all sorts of celebrity references of people that we forgot. Mm-hmm. You're not going to remember the ones that faded out.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I don't think that's a huge. I don't think that's a huge win. And like you said, for the actual act, the person that planned it, choreographed
needs to
it,
watch the show.
Yeah, just watched it beforehand and said, "Man, the Simpsons had a great idea."
Yeah, that piano part's great. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Now, here's the last Simpson prediction that I put on here. I'm sure there's more, but they predicted about the Walt Disney and the Fox merger. This is something that was brought up in a 1998 episode, season 10, episode 5. But then the Fox merger didn't happen until 2019. No, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to foresee something 20 years with two big companies on top of their game when they were in the late 90s like that to merge, coincidence maybe, but that's a pretty good prediction.
There's plenty of like shows that will make joking references about mergers. Typically, though, they are ones that don't make sense, like McDonald's and Exxon or something. I mean, I don't know. I mean, in 98, I guess Disney wasn't quite the behemoth that it is now, to where they are swallowing up everything.
Smaller, yeah.
I mean, I don't consider.
When they were part of Fox, do you think they had some sort of knowledge?
No,
some sort of potential merger in the future?
No, but I'm kind of curious. I'm trying to think if Disney owned ABC back then. I think they did. No, I mean, I would like to see it in context, because that episode's not ringing any bells for me. But because it might
read you the synopsis of the show.
Well, I'm more intrigued by the joke that it's facilitating. So okay. I'm almost certain it might end up having something to do with Mickey Mouse and something Fox related, and them wanting to just do the sight gag of mixing and matching that stuff. And so if it was done in order to facilitate a specific joke regarding that, then I can be all like, okay, that's just a coincidence or whatever. But, or I mean, a mysterious coincidence. I don't know. It's just,
It was on the episode where they had Alec Baldwin on there and Kim Basinger on there, and they decided to work for Homer. Homer suggested an idea for a movie during his phone call to 20th Century Fox executives. The next scene of the episode showed the 20th Century Fox was now owned by Walt Disney.
And that's it?
That's it. It's a subtle little throw in. Like you say, it wasn't a joke. Like you were.
I'd be more impressed if they had Alec Baldwin accidentally shoot a camera person. If you're gonna predict something like that.
Yeah, be a little bit more.
Because I mean, like, I could still just see that being just a very coincidental throwaway joke. Let's see. I'm gonna.
Yeah, two big movie corporations.
Simpsons predict Fox Disney merger. All right, let's see. I want to see the image. Let me see. It's all right. So it says a division of the Walt Disney Company at the bottom. So I'm wondering if this is when Disney started like buying up everything. When did Disney start buying everything. List of acquisitions by Disney. So you said this was in 98, right?
Yes, the episode was in 1998. Episode 5, season 10.
So right before that, 1996, they bought ABC. So
maybe the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
Maybe they were making fun of the ABC purchase.
So they did. They did purchase something from Fox in 2001 called Fox Family Worldwide. So, and sometimes deals like that could take a couple years. But I could still see it being a gag that, they're just seeing them buy stuff up.
Writings on the wall, yeah. They bought ABC, so we're next.
Yeah, I mean, ABC was like the biggest network, period. I mean, that was the big one. Yeah. And they came in and bought the biggest one. So, I don't really see it so much as a prediction. It's just kind of like just a happy coincidence on the joke or something. Like I said, if they would have had Alec Baldwin shoot a camera person, they predicted that, I'd, hands down, Simpsons are prophets. But
yeah,
I mean, did they do like one with Donald Trump being president or something?
Yeah, they didn't really say that he was elected. They did something with Biden, Kamala Harris. I thought there was one where they predicted him becoming president, but I couldn't find that one.
Run-in, at least.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But
it was kind of inevitable. I mean, like one of the guys with the biggest egos in the world. I mean, of course he's going to run. I mean, Kanye even wants to run. So.
Even the My Pillow guy tried to run.
And he did.
No.
It's what was the other one?
There's
another
Billy
guy.
Mays.
Yeah, that was the one that died. Okay, yeah.
He was the OxyClean guy.
Yeah. I'm sorry that the Simpsons are not as psychic as.
No, I would agree with you. I wanted to poke holes in it because. But Nostradamus, for those who don't know, was a 16th century French astrologer, and he wrote the book Les Prophéties. I'm sure I'm butchering that.
Les Prophéties.
Yeah, where he had a whole bunch of predictions. He claims to have predicted the rise and conquest of Napoleon. So I'm going to read his quatrain, and then I'm going to read the small explanation of it and how it fits with Napoleon, and we're going to decide if that's accurate or not. All right. Poe or Pau, P-A-U, I'm not sure how you say that. Nay, Laurent, more fire than blood. Swimming in praise, the great man hurries to the confluence. He will refuse entry to the magpies. Pampon and Durance will confine them. Clear as crystal clear, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, of course. The magpies and the pompons or whatever.
Yeah, the interpretation is that the Pau, Ney, Laurent are cities in France.
Okay.
And although they're in that third city is actually the Oloron. However, Nostradamus was also rather fond of anagrams, and when their letters are rearranged, the three cities spell out Roy Napoleon, very similar to the French Roy Napoleon or King Napoleon.
Yeah, no, you're stretching there.
Yeah, it's a terrible stretch.
All right, so if I take the PEPPR of Dr. Pepper and I eliminate one of the P's and the R, it was Dr. Pepe or Dr. PP. No.
Dr. PP. Dr. PP.
Yeah. No, just it's a stretch. I mean,
it's a stretch. It's
like, and here's the thing: great men rose all over, all the time. I mean, if it would have been more like, let's see, if I remember right, he was Corsican, wasn't he? Or he wasn't French necessarily. He was something that was not quite. I want to say it was Corsican. Let's see. What was Napoleon background? Well, he was born in France, but they always referred to him as something else.
Short.
No, he was average height. Yeah, so he was born on the island of Corsica. So yeah, he was a Corsican. Now, if they would have said something along those lines, like a great man's born in Corsica or something like that, okay,
Yeah.
something. But I mean, there were always great men as far as they were concerned, because people would come in and topple whatever regime was in charge. So
Yeah.
whether it be Napoleon hopping in after the French Revolution, the way that happened, or one of the other,
Well,
like, one of the other countries around them, beating their ass and then putting their own people in charge, which they used to do all the time. Then, I mean, there was always going to be some great man that would come in and do something. That's not that
well,
shit's general.
yeah, it's very similar to the next one. He predicted the rise of Hitler and the Nazi Party.
Oh,
He had two
so how do we
quatrains.
know that these quatrains are designated for the
That's what
1930s?
the people have equated these. They're putting these quatrains to certain events, and
So
that's
people
what
are
they
going
go.
through and they're cherry picking.
Yes, this is the some that have gone through and put these events with the quatrains that he has said. Some of them I'll get to that actually mentions by name.
Okay, because I mean, I have a feeling if I go back and I go and find the lyrics to all of Usher's first album, I'm sure I can find some, predictions that Usher had. Like whenever he was sitting there saying, "Baby, baby, get down," he was predicting, like, I don't know, Amy Winehouse dying. So
Yeah. He had two quatrains where he predicted or supposedly predicted Hitler's rise.
okay,
Now
let's
these are
hear
a
it.
little bit more, I won't say precise, but hit a little bit more on the nail on the head.
Okay.
From the depths of the west of Europe, a young child will be born of poor people. He who by his tongue will seduce a great troop. His fame will increase towards the realm of the east. Pretty generic, but his mentioning of his tongue will seduce a great troop. Hitler was a great speaker.
Uh,
He,
most uh, most leaders are. So is
yeah,
Napoleon. So
yeah.
was Thomas Jefferson. So was, lots and lots of people. I mean, it's just okay.
So that one is still a stretch,
Well, and
but
and the whole West East thing. I mean, it wasn't like he was popular in the East. I mean, it's like he went over and he took over the parts of Eastern Europe that
what the
he
East they're
would.
referring to was him allying with Japan.
Oh,
That's how
oh,
they're making that connect.
okay.
Either way, it's still a
I mean,
loose
so
connection.
yeah,
Here's the second prediction that he
okay.
wrote about Hitler. A beast ferocious with hunger will cross the rivers. The greater part of the battlefield will be against Hister, Hister. Into a cage of iron will the great one be drawn, when the child of Germany observes nothing. Some have claimed that the word Hister refers to Hitler, albeit misspelled. As it turns out, however, Hister is actually the Latin name for the Danube River, the second longest river in Europe, which flows through much of Central and Southeastern Europe.
Yeah, the Danube.
So they're talking about how the army was drawn up against, or the battles were mostly done up against that river, is how they're connecting those two together.
Mm. Well, I mean, I guess
Child of Germany. I mean,
I will accept that one, because at least, you know what, he got some of it right. I mean, technically, if I remember, I think Hitler was born in Austria. But I mean, like, I think Austria is like the Canada of Germany. So
yeah. So that's a pretty close one. Still a stretch, but mentioning a country by
once he
name,
was
yeah.
running Germany, but the first things he did was snatch Austria. So I mean, yeah. I mean, he felt like a German on the inside.
See that? I covered the microphone and turned my head away.
Do you want me to edit that out?
No. He claims, or they claim, that he predicted the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Okay.
And by using this quatrain, this is a very stretch.
Let me guess. Is it going to be a great fire?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe. No. Okay.
Okay.
The heavenly dart will stretch its course. Death in the speaking, a great achievement. The proud nation brought low by the stone and the tree. Rumors of a monstrous human bring purge, then expiation.
I mean,
I don't know how
the dart thing.
They said that's like the bomb.
No, I get that. I mean, that one, that bit stands out. The great nation being like low or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That happens. Countries rise and fall. That's him hedging his bet. But I will give him credit for the dart from the sky thing. I mean,
that was way before bombs. I mean, he didn't actually say the word bomb, but predicting that bombs would exist.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, because it's like, think about it. If we flying a plane back in like the 1600s, it'd be like metal birds in the sky.
Yeah. What the hell is that?
So, I can see where they can try to find something with that one. That one.
All right. They have claimed that he has predicted the JFK assassination.
Okay, it better be some specific shit in there, because
this one's pretty good. I mean, one's pretty good. It doesn't mention names,
heads of state get blown off. That's how that works. It happens a lot.
Here's his quatrain. Here's his prediction. The ancient task will be completed. From on high, evil will fall on the great man. A dead innocent will be accused of the deed. The guilty one will remain in the mist.
No.
It kind of fits the whole conspiracy theory with the JFK.
You can sit there and you can fit that with any crime where the wrong person gets put in the hoosegow. So, no, it doesn't say, it doesn't say Jack, doesn't say JFK, doesn't say Fitzgerald, doesn't say some weird French version of Kennedy.
Don't say Dealey Plaza. Yeah,
doesn't say Oswald, doesn't say in La Reunion. If it would have said that, I'd be like, okay, well, that was what Dallas is.
But it did say from on high. That could be reference to the sixth floor. I'm just saying what people are saying.
Yeah, no,
I'm giving him credit for.
Because back then you could still pop somebody with a crossbow or a bow and arrow or something from on high. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's a loose one. I don't get it.
You ain't getting credit for that shit.
No,
that's like Jason. Someday, in the future, between now and forever, somewhere off to the side, a great man shall be brought down, and people will weep. There's my prediction.
Wow.
This marked and
you should
noted.
Wrap fortune cookies.
Yeah, no, because it's going to happen someday. That's going to happen.
A great man will fall, and we will weep. You're right.
Yeah, no. And there you go. You're welcome. The Nostradamus of our time.
Man, you need to write you a book.
Nah, I don't. Be like, hey, here's quatrain number 1, quatrain number 2.
Quatrain.
I love quatrains. I used to play with quatrains when I was little.
I had 4 trains growing up too.
Choo choo.
All right, here's another one. He's about 9/11. How they've linked it to 9/11. All right. Here's his prediction. The sky will burn at 45 degrees. Fire approaches the great new city. By fire he will destroy their city. A cold and cruel heart, blood will pour, mercy to none.
No.
No, they're claiming that the 45 degrees is like the latitude line that New York sits at.
All right, hold on. Let's see. Let's see. New York City latitude. Longitude, latitude. It's at 43.
Oh, so it's in a totally new city. So
Yeah.
bust that one. And
Yep,
the
that
great
one
new
is
city.
busted. And
Yeah, the great new
here's,
city.
I
Yeah,
mean,
New York.
I mean,
That could be a lot of new cities
yeah,
back in then.
that
It
could
could
just be,
be
this could be like him.
Misotopia.
Well, and what I'm sitting there seeing here is him basically, uh, he's rehashing an old story. He's essentially doing Babylon, Tower of Babel and all that. Like great new
Okay.
city that climbs high of the sky is going to come crashing down in fire. Yeah, that's just old biblical stuff. He's just going all Old Testament on things.
All right. And these are the two that he actually predicted right on by naming actual names.
Ooh, okay,
All right.
all right,
He knew of Louis Pasteur.
okay. And I
Before
want to say
Louis
Pasteur was
Pasteur,
in the 1700s, right?
he was born in 1822,
1822. Oh, all right.
referred to as the father of microbiology.
Yes, thanks to
He's the
him, we
one
have
that came up with
pasteurized milk.
pasteurization. Yep. And here's his quatrain about him. The lost thing is discovered, hidden for many centuries. Pasteur will be celebrated almost as a godlike figure. This is when the moon completes her great cycle, but by other rumors he shall be dishonored. And they're saying that the fourth line of the quatrain is particularly notable, as in 1995, the biographer Gerald L. Geisen published his book, The Private Science of Louis Pasteur, which revealed that Pasteur has secretly included a rival's finding in a version of the anthrax vaccine to make it work, in a sense, dishonoring him. Once again,
That's a
stretch.
stretch. Yeah,
But
all
naming
that's
him by his name
I mean,
is
yeah, but nobody is ever like Louis Pasteur is a god. No,
no. I mean,
nobody's. This is not. I mean, what he did was remarkable and good, but I don't know if if he hit like rock star status. I mean, I don't. I'd have to look up like my French
depends
scientist
how much you like
magazine.
pasteurized milk. Yeah,
I mean, was he just? Would he just walk down the street and bitches just throw themselves at him?
pimp walking.
I
Yeah,
think I think that's a bit
you
of a
like that
stretch.
milk,
And I'd be kind of curious how common of a name is
Pasteur.
Pasteur. I mean, is
Yeah,
that
if
like
there's
the
a
French
common name
equivalent? Yeah, is that the
or
French
not
equivalent of
another
Smith?
name, yeah, or it could mean something totally different.
Jason. Sometime in the future, the great beyond, from now, this moment
Still,
until
forever.
all the moments,
You're pretty good at
a
predicting things.
person by the name of Johnson will get famous. And then they'll stop being famous.
You have a career in fortune cookie writing or horoscope writing.
You're welcome.
You gotta say it and all that in that voice you just did though.
No, that's my psychic voice. I mean, I have to be serious. Come on, I'm doing quatrains here. Damn it!
All right, the last one, and maybe the most impressive prediction of all of them,
Okay, can you name
is
me?
him. Besides the two that you just predicted, of
No,
course.
I mean no, but I'm just curious if he named me. It's like Daryl, Waywut, carry on my legacy. I'd be like, yeah, he was right. He knew
Yeah,
everything.
I haven't got to that part of the predictions in his book yet, but
Yeah,
it
okay,
could be in there. It could be in
it
there.
should be.
But he predicted the Great Fire of London in 1666, and he actually said the name London and the year.
Okay.
All right.
Let's hear
Here it is. The blood of the just will be lacking in London, burnt up in the fire of 66. The ancient lady will topple from her high place. Many of the same sect will be killed. Pretty cut and dry.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know what all the extraneous bullshit around it is.
Let's see.
I don't know
Blood
what
of the
how.
just may refer to millions. The fire of the just. I don't know what the ancient lady, but lady is capitalized, so it makes me think that it could be the queen
No, back then it was
or the
in 1866. That was when the fire was, right? 1866.
1666.
1666.
Mhm.
Oh, you mean was it while Nostradamus was alive?
No,
When Nostradamus died?
I don't know when he died. I know he was alive in the 16th century, so that was in the
16th
1500s.
century. Okay, so all
Yeah.
right, he was 1666.
So about 100+ years after
All
him being
right.
alive.
I don't know. I'll give him credit. He
Mentioning
said
about name,
66 and he said fire.
it's
All
pretty
right.
right on. That's the only
What?
prediction I gave him credit for.
Hold on. I'm getting another prediction.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Here it comes.
In a year with 40 great waters will pour from the sky and an Orleans of new. Yeah, that's all I got. Yeah.
It's a good one. That's a good
It
one.
hit me.
And
Yeah.
it's strangey, too.
I mean, I don't know if it's
You
going to be
take a sip.
2040 or 3040 or 4040 or 2140, but this Orleans of New place, I haven't heard of it. They're at risk of there being like a lot of water, like some flooding or something. God, that was hard. It took a lot.
Man, you're good. Man. You're like, you sit down like Whoopi Goldberg did on Ghost after she gets through predicting stuff, or
I'm
just with
fortunate. I'm already sitting down.
her.
This is,
Well,
if you need anything from me, just let me know.
you should already know. You should already know
I'm
what
not
I
gonna.
need.
No, with an ability like this, I'm not gonna inject myself into people's lives. If you ask for help, and with an
You sound like a woman.
adequate donation, I will help.
Well, I need your expertise then. Would you
Okay.
like to break down some of his predictions for 2024?
All right, let's hear it.
All right.
See if they match up with mine.
I doubt it. This one is entitled Rise of the Machines. In fire's grip, man's craft shall rise. A metal's fury, skies it defies. Rebellion spark, a battle untold. Twixt creator and creation, future unfolds.
Ooh, dude. Sounds like
Dun dun dun.
it sounds like we're hitting that Skynet Terminator war stuff. Why did we have to wait so long to start this podcast? Because now we're just going to be in the middle of it in this year, and then the machines are going to rise,
Yep.
and then we're going to
Nothing
send.
we're gonna do.
Yeah,
They're gonna
we're going to
erase
have
all
to
of our
hope
stuff.
that we can send somebody back in time to stop the machines.
Yeah, I think this one's talking about some sort of AI.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. But
it's very loose.
I mean,
Anything man-made. Anything man-made. Man's
well,
craft.
I know. Yeah, I know. I mean, for all we know, we could be headed towards like that Cars Maximum Overdrive sort of thing. Maybe all those Cybertrucks will get tired of being made fun of, and then
Come alive.
come alive and running people over.
Tired of you making fun of me. All right. This one is called The Dreamer's Plague.
Ooh.
I'm not sure why it's labeled that, but in Dragon's Grip, a slumberous haze, world's weary eyes in a dreamy daze, reality and dreams, a dance untold, secrets of slumber in sleep stronghold. And dragon is capitalized.
I've already got this. I've got this figured
I
out.
think it means TikTok. People
You are
are.
wrong.
It's a
You are
prediction.
wrong.
Not going to be wrong.
You are
My
wrong.
interpretation of it is
Yeah, I know, but you
people
don't have
are.
psychic powers like me.
Well, let me tell you mine, and then you
Okay,
could determine
fine.
if I'm wrong or not.
Let's see.
I think
Let's
it had
hear
a lot to do with
amateur.
cell phones. Yeah, a lot to do with cell phones. People being in a slumberous haze with it stuck right in their face. TikTok, Dragon from TikTok from China. How wrong am I? How wrong am I, Mister Chloe?
You're very wrong, because I see it being a foretelling of increased legalization of marijuana across the country. Or you know how like they're starting to get those gummies now that are able to go into other places. That's the dragon that puts everybody
Okay,
into a sleepy haze.
I like it. Tell me more.
That's all it is.
Oh,
There's going
is it
to
prediction
be
or is that
more
a
access
promise?
to. There's going to be more access to free weed. I mean, to legal weed or in legal weed substitutes.
You promise?
It's what I predicted. Actually, it's what Nostradamus predicted. So if it's wrong, it's all his fault.
Yeah, you've been right so far. Let's see.
I mean, I did not translate his French directly. I'm just going off the translation you sent. So technically, it'll be your fault.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. There.
Now, this one is called the Serpent Strife.
How many quatrains did 2024 get?
I wrote down 5 of them,
How?
but I
Oh,
don't like the last one because I don't know what it's talking about.
okay.
This one's the Serpent Strife. In the dragon's shadow, a tempest wakes. A leader's ambition, the world it shakes. From north to south, the tension's song. In the dragon's dance, right and wrong. Could be precluded. Something about war.
I was gonna say, what was that one supposed to be like for the Civil War from back then, or what? You know,
I say a leader's ambition, the world it shakes. I mean, that could mean a lot of things.
I have another prediction.
Oh, here we go.
Sometime between this moment and all the moments that are before us, there will be a terrible war. It'll be East versus West, West versus East. No. This is West versus East, East versus West. I'll explain why in a little bit. But people will die, fires will rain, buildings will crumble, and someone will win. That's my prediction. There we go.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
So you can't do north and south because with the equator, you kind of have a pretty solid north and south, but somebody's always going to be east and west of each other pretty much, unless there are like if it's North and South Dakota, then my prediction's fucked. But maybe it was like East South Dakota versus Northwest Dakota. I don't know. But
all right, I'll let you pick the last one. Would you want to hear the Phoenix's rise or the digital gold rush?
Digital gold rush sounds a little bit on the nose. Like he was predicting Bitcoin. So I don't really want to hear about virtual currency stuff. So let's do the first one.
All right. In the shadowy guise reborn, chaos stirs, a world forlorn. Division strife in tumultuous dance. Only the valiant may seize a chance.
That is some fortune cookie bullshit right there.
Yeah.
That is a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah,
that
a whole
is
lot of nothing.
It's like things will be bad. Be brave. Okay. Live strong. Thank you, Lance Armstrong. Appreciate that.
Yeah, they're pretty vague, and that's how you not get. It's how you keep your job as a prediction person is be vague.
But I mean, is that what
less
he was?
likelihood of being wrong?
Was that what he was famous for back then? Was he
was a
considered like
astrologer. He was an astrologer.
Oh, so he did like fucking Cancer, Gemini, and all that bullshit?
Yeah.
He wasn't an for some reason I heard astronomer earlier and I was like, oh, okay. So like a legit star person. But no, he was a fake star person.
Let me make sure I wrote that down. I know I wrote it down.
Nostradamus. That is just a
Astrologer.
Yeah,
He was an
Oh,
astrologer.
he was also an apothecary, so he knew how to make drugs.
What about a notary? Was he a notary?
He died in 1566. No, apothecary. It's like a medieval, not
Pharmacist.
medieval, but, yeah. He made drugs and tinctures and stuff. Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty interesting dive into predictions and how loosely based they were on real events and how people just want things like that to be true.
Yeah, I mean, writing almanacs. I mean, hell, it still goes on now. We got the Farmer's Almanac.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
kind of
that's
based on
essentially what he
science. Yeah.
did. I do find that his stuff is just some of it's very vague. Some of it seemed a little specific. I'll give him credit on some of it. I think it's one of those things that if you're riding, it's kind of the whole put a bunch of monkeys and an infinite number of monkeys and an infinite number of typewriters, and one of them will type the words to Shakespeare. It's you write enough bullshit, something's gonna stick.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was an interesting dive.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, in the fact that it gave me a chance to demonstrate my psychic prowess means
It
a
was
lot to me.
spot on. Yeah, we'll do that every show.
No. I told you, I need donations and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that brings it to the end of this episode. Join us next time when Daryl once again jerk the wheel from my hands and predict. Well, I'm trying to think of the ways you can just take the wheel out of my hand.
I love how you emphasize the word jerk in that. You're like, jerk the wheel out of my hand. Sorry. Just felt like there was a little salt involved in that.
Oh, no. I like switching seats. It's fun.
All right.
But until then.
Till then.
You're
not gonna do the whole make Waywut or any of that. You're not
I
gonna
did
do
have
our
a
branding.
Quote. Coincidences mean you're on the right path. That's the end of the quote.
Bye. I'm done. Bye.
Yeah, see ya.
Thank you for listening to Waywut. We really appreciate it. Remember that we post episodes every Tuesday and would love for you to rate us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Pandora. If you are watching us on YouTube, throw us a comment, subscribe, and do all the other things that YouTube likes for you to do. You can stalk us on Facebook and X/Twitter with the handle Waywut Podcast. Once again, thank you for hanging out with us for a little bit, and join us next time when we'll get you to say, "Wait, what?"